Hi, welcome back to the next video in the first module. This video, I want to go through role models and the importance of role models. We've talked about having a good positive body language, good positive feelings and state, and I want to talk a little bit about how we can get there and understand how we can get there now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, now. And I'm wondering this, whenever I ask this question, I always get no. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm wondering if this is you. Do you have a role model? And if so, who is it? And even more so, let's add to that, what do you get from them? What is it that they do that is so important for them to be your role model? Is it something that they do? Is it the way they carry themselves? Is it the way that they go about their business? Or is it just something that they give you? You don't know what it is, but they give you something. Understanding what that is ultra important. Ultra important, because if we don't know, what are we accepting? What are we accepting or rejecting? And one thing I want to say is with role models is, role models give us the level of excellence that we are trying to achieve, that we are pushing to achieve all the time. And so if we are in a situation where we want better physiology, because we need a better state, because we need to change the way we mean it, because we're deleting, distorting, generalizing all this stuff, what is my role model doing? How do they go about what they do? What values do they have? What beliefs do they believe are true when they do their thing? A lot of people choose sporting players. A lot of people choose high-rolling business people. And that's okay for whatever it is you're doing. But I want to suggest this to you. Choose role models. And I say role models, not just role model, because we are going to need role models in different areas of our lives. Sometimes our role model isn't going to give us every single aspect of our life and cover everything for us. So understanding what each person can give us in each individual part of our lives is really, really important. And pick and choose. I used to have this coach who taught me how to basically coach softball, and he, even to a degree, life in general. His name was Jim Gibson. Unfortunately, he's passed a few years ago, and it was sorely missed. However, most of my coaching and ideas come from him. Most of my softball coaching is all him. How did you break it down? I remember one time I was sitting there watching a junior girls game, and he's sitting there and goes, you watch this hitter, this pitcher will throw this pitch, this hitter will hit that ball over to there, the right fielder will dive and catch the ball. And then the runner who's standing on third base will run home and score. This is all before it happened. And I go, yeah, whatever, old man. And he laughed. Next pitch, I'm kid you not, in that spot, the hitter hits the ball to right fielder dives to catch a ball. Not as dramatically as we all thought it was going to happen the way he said it. The right fielder catches the ball, throws it home, the runner from third comes home and scores. And I'm like, wow, really? How did you do that? And it was the way he saw the game. So I took what he did and I worked out how he did it. And then so I started, not to the degree that he did it, because he was something from out of space somewhere. I took what he did and I utilised it in softball, and I got the results that I needed to get. And I got the results that the player wanted. And that was the key for me. However, I didn't always take what he did there into my life. My role models have changed. Earlier on, I didn't have a great deal of role models. My role models were always softball role models or sporting role models, and I didn't really hit the mark. And this was the key thing that I learned, was I needed to take the success that I was having on the ballpark into my life. How do I do that? And that was, for me, was understanding that I need a role model here and a role model here. Jim Gibson used to always say, you need to learn from each individual person that you ever meet, so that you can take something from them. So what he used to have me do when I was younger was what he called rub shoulders with some of the great players that were around. For me, I was a pitcher. So I stood around with some of the greats of my time, of their time, and just stand there, and I would stand there and listen to them. That's all I would do. I was like a little bad smell hanging around. I used to just stand there while they were drinking beers after the game, and I would stand there and listen. Because these guys, all they did was talk softball. And there was so much you could get from it. Good, bad, or indifferent, you got something from every one of them. And then all of a sudden I was doing one-on-one pitching with each one of them. I was doing hitting with some of them. And I was learning from what it was that they were doing on the ballpark and what they did habitually behind and off the field that changed everything for me in softball. Never did I get the fact that, hey, I was 12, 13 at the time. I never got, hey, maybe I need to do that outside of life. I always used to think to myself, when I was about 16, 17, I used to think to myself, how do I get what I do here and do it in my life? That's what I used to think. And I could never piece it together until I learned role models. That was all that was missing. Because when I was playing great softball, great sport, I was role modeling somebody. Even when you play backyard cricket or backyard football or whatever it is, I used to think that you try on different players all the time. And so, when I was playing cricket, I was the old Dean Jones or someone like that. I was playing exactly like they were, Steve Waugh. Football the same. And however, I never really pieced it together until, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, did I really piece together that, hey, hang on, you need role models out here. If you want that success, what success do you want out here, and how do you get it? Who's having who's doing and living the life that you want to live, and then go and find out what they do. How is it that they do it? Why do they do it? How do they do it? What do they think? What are their values? What do they believe? And that changed everything for me. One other thing was, when I was playing ball, I got a chance to play behind one of the best players that ever played for Australia. And we'll just call him the King, because that's what we used to call him. So that way I don't necessarily give his name away. He was the king, and he actually was the king. He was pretty good. And I come up through the ranks playing against him and what have you, and then I got an opportunity to play with him. And then I got an opportunity to hit right after him in a batting order. And I thought this is gold. And the whole time I modelled my hitting off him. So I was never as good as him. However, I complimented him perfectly in a batting order, because it got to the stage where I actually thought I was him when I went into bat. So when he if he got a hit, if he struck out, if he hit a home run, whatever, I thought I could do exactly the same. If he didn't get a hit, I thought, I'm him, I'm the king now, and I'll get the hit for him. And so many times it worked out that way, and so many times we were back to back and we were scoring runs left, right, and centre. So then I thought to myself, recently, 4 or 5 years ago, why can't I do that here? It's so simple. It's such a simple connection, and I never made it. And then when I did, things changed. So from a business point of view, how do I do what I want to do? Who's doing it? So I went and found one. Sharon Pearson is the key thing for me. She's a massive role model for me. Huge, because in business, she's killing it. She's teaching other people how to do it. If you don't know her, look her up. She's gold. Gold. Wayne Dyer, another one. Unfortunately, he's just passed away, but he gave so much to so many people. How did he do what he did? What was it that connected him to other people? And I thought to myself, well, why aren't I utilising him? And when I started to utilise this stuff that I was getting from these people, everything changed. Everything. I was a different person. I am a different person because of them. Because I choose to do what they do in my way. To add my flavour onto what they do. Exactly the same as what I did in softball. Exactly the same. Role models play a huge part in the way, because they give us something to be now. How do I imagine this? Imagine stepping out. Let's just say your role model is Madonna, for an example. A really, really, probably not a good example, but let's utilize it. Imagine you're Madonna, and you're stepping into her body and you're putting it on, even with the big cone nipples, everything. And you're up there singing away like a virgin, whatever it is. Okay? Imagine if you were to slip into your role model's body. Just do that for me right now. Slip into your role model's body and be them right now. And notice, inside that, how you feel. Notice the awareness that you have. Notice the different feeling you have in your body, knowing that anything is possible because I am my role model. And know that the stories that you're telling yourself now are all positive, and that you have control, and that everything that you could ever wanted has always been there. You just need to put on this cloak. And now step outside. Notice the difference. Is there a difference? Understand that you just did that make-believe. That means that all those feelings, all those thoughts, all those stories that you were telling yourself have always been there. They're not made up. They're always there. That's you wearing their cloak in your way. You have always had it. It's not something that's just, oh, Luke gave me this pill and now I feel fantastic. It's not that. It's always been there for you, always. And now you're finally found a way of utilizing it. Is it fake? No. 100% no. It is not fake. It is you. This is you coming out. It's you playing at 100% now. It's you coming out, that little bit in you come and out and saying, hey, I'm here, let me play. Let me come out and play. It's always been there and it's always wanted to play. Now it's time for you to play. And your role model is you. It's what you see in your role model is you. It's the parts that you want it to be. It's not them, because they're only showing you a part of them. It's what you choose to see in them. It's you. It's you reflecting back at you, and your subconscious effectively saying to you, this is who you are, man. Come out and play. Why aren't you letting me play? That's what this is. That's what role models give us. They give us a path to follow. They give us something to be. They let ourselves, that little voice inside our head that comes out and plays. It's all positive and it's all great feeling, and it's always going to invigorate you in so many ways. Let that come out and play. And we utilize role models to allow that to happen. And I trust that you're really getting that now. Is that role models give us a catalyst to allow that little voice that we continually suppress over and over again, to come out and play. Think about that. Try it on. Feel it. Be it. It's you. It always has been. And it's beautiful. And why shouldn't it be? You have everything in you to do whatever you want to do. You have everything in you to give what you need to give. You have everything in you to lead the people you need to lead, to manage the feelings and the emotions of them and you. You have it all in you. It's always been there. Let it out and play. Role models. That is the importance of role models. So that's the end of this video. I trust that you got so much out of it. I love talking about role models. I could talk about role models all day, but I'm going to run out of videotape for sure. So go out there and be you. Go out there and be your role model. Go out there and play. Go out and play at 100%. I'll see you on the next video.